morning, CSL. My name's Jake, as I think at least half of you just said back to me. I'm the music director, and I'm pretty excited for today's service. We have an awesome guest artist. Please give it up for Gina Sala, accompanied by Paul. And we're going to do some opening sing-along situations, so please sing along.
Ooh, there you go. There you go.
You guys ready to let our mighty lights shine? If you ready to let your mighty lights shine, say, oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I think we're ready. Let your mighty light
shine, shine, shine.
Let your mighty light
shine, oh divine.
'Cause there may be
someone down in the valley trying to get home, trying to get home.
Let your mighty light
shine, shine, shine.
Let your mighty light
shine, oh my Lord.
'Cause there might be
someone down in the valley trying to get home, trying to get home.
Well, it may be me or it may be you. It might be your brother or your sister too. Well, it might be someone down in the valley trying to get home. Oh, trying to get home. Let your mighty light shine, shine, yeah. Let your mighty light shine, oh my Lord. 'Cause there might be someone down in the valley trying to get home. Well, it might be you or it might be me. It might be someone from across the sea. But it might be someone down in the valley trying to get home. Let your mighty light, let your mighty light shine, shine, shine. Let your mighty light shine, oh my Lord. 'Cause there might be someone down in the valley trying to get home. Jake, how do you let it shine? Oh yeah. Well, you know the miracle just might be the kindness flowing through you and me. For that beloved someone down in the valley trying to get home. Let's sing it one more time. Let your mighty light shine, shine, shine. Let your mighty light shine, love divine. 'Cause there might be someone down in the valley trying to get home. Oh, there might be, 'cause there might be someone down in the valley trying to get home. Yes, thank you for shining.
And I'm Reverend Abigail. I'm go by she and her, and I'm here to pray us in this morning. So just taking a deep breath and settle in and tune in to your inner light. That inner light that is God's light, that is the light of the world. It is in and through each and every one of us. And so I know and claim that this day is a day to fully express and shine that light. That as this service unfolds, we are reminded who we are, why we came here to be at this time. And so in that truth, I recognize through the music, through the prayers, through the message, and through the community that each and every one of us is here awakened to that depth of who we truly are. And so I celebrate this time together. I know it is a holy time together to connect, to love, and to just be, and to shine that light. And so I'm grateful to know that this place, this time, this space, wherever we are, all around the world, we are truly blessed. And for that, I'm grateful. And so it is.
Welcome to all of you. So glad that you're with us today. My name is James Kress. I'm one of the staff ministers here. My pronouns are he, him. And we are so glad that you are joining us here. It's the last Sunday of 2024. How about that? I'm noticing the joy and the glee and the happiness and feeling into all of that. That's wonderful. So glad to see all of you here with us, and many of you joining us online. 2/3 of our community here join us each Sunday online, and I think that's just amazing. I can speak personally to that. Last week, I was in Georgia celebrating the holidays with my daughter and grandson, and it was so cool to tune in online and be there. I watched the Christmas Eve service from bed because it was a 3-hour time difference, but it was just really, really wonderful. And if you're newer to this community, we just want to let you to know that we are a spiritual but not religious community. We have little to no dogma, and we exist here simply to teach time-tested principles and offer them for you to try on in such a way that serve you. And so we hope that you feel welcome and that you feel met and appreciated and connected to this community just as you are, just because you are. So thank you for joining us here today. If you're new to us, I'd like to draw in, for those of you that are here in person, well, first, before I say that, if you're online, go ahead and let us know where you're calling in from. There's a little chat feature there that you can do, and it's really good for us to know who's with us and where you're coming in from. But for those of you that are here this morning, in the seat pockets in front of you, you'll notice these 4 cards, and we invite you to take these cards with you. They tell you all about who we are as a church community, and we want you to be available for that. There is also a place, where you can put a prayer request if you have that, and there's a basket in the back as well as an offering basket here in front later on in the service that you can put those prayer requests in, and we would love for you to stay connected to us in that way. So again, we're so glad that you're here. We're really looking forward. Rabbi Olivier is going to be delivering the message here shortly, but before he comes, I'd like to welcome back Gina and Paul for another song. Thank you.
Well, this is actually a song that Paul Henderson has recently recorded, and it's exactly on topic. Be the one.
Be the one.
Be the one.
Who will light up the night. Be the one.
Be the one.
Who will guide with your heart. Be the one.
Be the one.
Who will help another to stand. Be the light, be the love, be the one. Be the one.
Be the one.
Who will light up the night. Be the one.
Be the one.
Who will guide with your heart. Be the one.
Be the one.
Who will help another to stand. Be the light, be the love, be the one. So much to do. Where do I begin? How can I lend a helping hand to build a bridge, remove a divide, to bring peace and love into light, and be the one,
Be the one.
who will light up the night, be the one,
Be the one.
who will guide with your heart, be the one,
Be the one.
who will help another to stand, be the light, be the love, be the one. Let's make a difference, join hand in hand. Together we'll take a stand. United in heart, united in song. Together we'll let our voices ring and be the one.
Be the one.
Who will light up the night, be the one.
Be the one.
Who will guide with your heart, be the one.
Be the one.
Who will help another to stand. the light, be the love, be the one. Let's join together and bring in the light. Let's join together and lift each other up. Let's join together because we are love. And now, let's be the light. Let's be the ones.
Be the one.
Who will light up the night. Be the ones.
Be the ones.
Who will guide with their heart. Be the ones.
Be the ones.
Who will help another to stand. Be the light. Be the love. Be the one. A movement is started. Hope is alive. Each day brings more change. I see the light shining brightly in your eyes. We'll make it one step at a time and be the ones.
Be the ones who
Will light up the night. Be the ones.
Be the ones
Who will guide with their heart. Be the ones.
Be the ones
Who'll help another to stand. Be the light. Be the love. Be the one. Be the light. Be the love. Be the one. Be the light. Be the love. Be the one.
All right, so we're gonna mix it up a little bit this morning because Rabbi Olivier is actually late and he's on his way. So I'm gonna do the announcements now, and yeah. And if he's still not here, then we might even have another song. So I know, extra bonus, you get the fun, exciting service for service today. I love it. All right, well, couple of quick announcements, which we usually do at the end of the service. We have some extraordinary things coming up, and we want you to participate because that's why we're doing them, is for you. So you get to be in community. We have two very important things coming up on Tuesday, which is New Year's Eve. The first is a World Healing Meditation that we're doing at 4 a.m., which means like Monday night, Tuesday morning, 4 a.m. And that's going to be really cool. That's Reverend Patrick is going to be leading that with Irene Engels, who is from the Seattle Sound Temple, and she is amazing. So one beautiful thing about this World Healing Meditation is that it happens at the same time all around the world. So everybody kind of has this assigned time so we can be united in consciousness around world peace. So if you're interested in that, please do come. Go early and then, take a nap in the middle of the day. And after that, you can come to our New Year's Eve service in the evening. And that is at 7 p.m. on Tuesday. And Kathy Ann is going to do some amazing intention setting process. We're going to have Jake, and we're going to have Hava Morel as our music. I know. So all kinds of amazing things happening there. And then I wanted to mention a couple of classes that we have coming up. The first one is mental equivalence, which starts on January 14th. Reverend Jerry, who is here in the room, is teaching that class. And it's all about harnessing the law of mental equivalence and transforming an idea into reality. And it's really a simple process, but sometimes we don't know what we can do until we learn about it. And so there are some amazing tools and resources that Jerry will be giving you for that class. And then the next class I wanted to mention is that Kathy Ann is teaching a year of scientific Christian mental practice, which is Emma Curtis Hopkins. And Emma Curtis Hopkins was somebody who inspired the person who founded our organization, which is Ernest Holmes. And Kathy Ann happens to be an Emma expert. She is, out of all of the ministers that I know at Centers for Spiritual Living, which there's about 800 of them, Kathy Ann is really, really good at knowing, teaching, and expressing what Emma Curtis Hopkins has to teach us. So there's 12 lessons. She's going to teach them every month and help you become a force for good in the world by learning about your own innate power and those 12 principles. So without further ado, I'm going to welcome back Gina and Paul, who have a surprise song for you.
Well, things always work out just right. How many of you have ever heard of the Gayatri Mantra? Anyone heard of this? Yes, this is the mantra of divine light. Gayatri Mantra is a mantra of divine light, universal the way people have recognized the divine light through all cultures in the world, like the halo in the pictures and the cave paintings that we see, like the love in a baby's eyes, in the love when we're loving freely. So from the Sanskrit, Bharat, India, 5,000 or more years old, invoking the light. Om Bhuvasvaha. In the earth, the heavens, and the skies beyond. Tat Savitur Varenyam. That, the absolute. Savitur, generative. Varenyam, venerable, worthy of worship. Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi. Bhargo, the self-effulgent divine light that we see when we're most unified in our awareness of God. Devasya, divine reality. Dhimahi, we meditate. Diyo yona prachodayat. For our minds enlightened. A mantra for the enlightenment of all beings. Awakening to our union with God, which brings great peace and joy. So if you like, breathe, chant Om with me, or just absorb it. Om Bhuvasvaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Diyo yona prachodayat. Om Bhuvasvaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Diyo yona prachodayat. One more time, feeling, welcoming the light as people in every spiritual tradition, every culture have done. Om Bhuvasvaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Diyo yona prachodayat. Om Bhuvasvaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Diyo yona prachodayat. Om Bhuvasvaha Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Diyo yona prachodayat. And if you like, look around, recognize the light in each other. If you're on Zoom land, we recognize the light in you. Regardless of language, culture, any of the isms and schisms, that divine light in all as we sing or receive it one more time. Om Bhuvasvaha Tatsaviturvareniyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. The light in me beholds the light in you. The light in me loves the light in you. Two more times like that. The light in me beholds the light in you. Ah, the light in me loves the light in you. One more time. The light in me beholds the light in you. The light in me loves the light in you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Sweet light of love.
Thank you, Gina. Well, it is my pleasure to introduce to you our beloved Rabbi Olivier, who is a co-renter in this place. His congregation is here as well in this community. And so when we're off on Fridays and Saturdays, typically his community is here hanging out, adding to the amazing energy that we have here. So please welcome up Rabbi Olivier.
Good morning. I'm so glad to see you. So happy to see you. I didn't know that was going to happen. It's a miracle. Half an hour ago, I jumped in my shower and realized, oh my God, I slept through my alarm clock. But I'm here. Hineni, I am here. I am here. It's wonderful to be with you on this gorgeous week of our holidays. I want to talk to you about the miracle of light, as Gina was. Hi, so beautiful to see you. It's been a long time. I want to talk about the miracle of light because this is what's happening, and it's happening everywhere. I want to talk about the holiday of Chanukah. We are right now exactly in the middle of the holiday of Chanukah. Last night we kindled our 4th candle out of the 8 of the holiday. So I want to talk to you about Chanukah and the miracle that we're invited to contemplate each night as we kindle our candles. Let's start a little bit with some history, because Judaism has evolved always in 3 different phases. There is always the historical aspect of every holiday and gives us the context of how those holidays were born. And then there is the kind of the religious aspect that took over from there, and I'll show you how that in this case that happens. And then there's a deeper spiritual level that once you know the first 2, you can really let yourself relax into the 3rd, which to me is the most important. The history of Chanukah is a history that started a long time ago in a galaxy not so far away. Right in the land of Israel. Alexander the Great, who, as far as Jews are concerned, wasn't really great, conquered our land in the year, to be precise, 329 before the Common Era. So we've been around for a while. And the Greek Empire will be ruling over our land for about 160 years. I'll tell you what happens after that. What the Greek Empire was really good at after they conquered some people is that they didn't come in with their big might and big swords and try to rule as a brutal force, but they had this really great strategy. And that strategy was called Hellenization. And that's how they ruled the people they conquered. They brought to them their culture, their political views, their philosophical teachers, and they kind of mesmerized the people they conquered into becoming like them. And that's how, by assimilating them, they were able to rule over them without ever brandishing a sword. And it worked most everywhere. It worked most everywhere. They were really a fascinating people. They brought to our land, they brought to Jerusalem and to our people, they brought everything that we didn't know existed. And as a very erudite people, as we call the people of the book, what they brought to us was really enticing, was really powerful. They brought sports. I mean, remember, they built arenas for sports to happen. They had this thing called the Olympics. I don't know if you've heard of it, but they kind of invented that. The first took place in Olympia, not far from here. I love the little delay. There's a great little delay. They brought their theater. There was no theater before them, you know. They wear this mask and they acted on those platforms, stories that was fascinating. You know, it's like suddenly you have cable TV, you know, it's like, wow, there was so much to discover and learn and be part of. They brought all these amazing philosophers. And we as Jews, who were, again, the people of the book, we devours whatever they brought. And we know there was a lot of influence from that for our nation. Their political views, also these new concepts of how to rule a state, how to rule a city. It was fascinating. It was really the very progressive, enlightened civilization of the day, if you think about it. I mean, we can look back and think that our civilization is born out of the Greek Empire and what the Greek brought to this world, including our political institutions, our sports, our theater. I mean, everything was sourced there. So we're not far from 369 BCE, in fact, you know. And we loved it. We loved it so much. We really loved it. A majority of our people really adopted that model of life and that civilization. So much so that we began to name our kids Alexander. I mean, think about it. We had a king during that time called Alexander Yanai, so he still kept his Hebrew last name, but he was named Alexander. I mean, what nation, what people, you know, names their children after their conquerors? I mean, think about it. Right? And so we did. We adopted their dress. A lot of us actually moved to Alexandria. They built this new city in Egypt called Alexandria, and a lot of Jews actually, you know, there was a burgeoning civilization, commerce all across the Mediterranean. And, you know, if you can't beat them, join them. And so that's what happened. A lot of Jews, that was one of the first migrations of Jews following the Greek Empire into Egypt. There was a Jewish community in Egypt until the mid-1900s. Very, very long civilization there. Big Jewish community. But there still was, though, a minority of Jews that lived there that did not really follow what they were doing and did not really assimilate. There was a mass resistance to the process of assimilation. So much so that one of the kings down the line, his name was Antiochus, saw that the Jews were not Hellenized fast enough. And so he needed to do something about that. And he became more of a brutal dictator, which was really a mistake. But he decided that he wanted to speed up the process, and he became the brutal dictator that, you know, we should have expected and didn't see when they first invaded, but here it was. And he started to decree laws against those Jews who resisted Hellenization. And he started to ban our religion. He started to ban circumcision, for example. He started to ban our ability to study the Torah, for example. That was part of our process. You know, the Torah has always been at the center of our people. And he had edicts like that, one after another, to completely erase now, forcefully, the Jewish faith, the Jewish nation, and what it stood for. And because of the violence, I mean, all of the edicts were under penalty of death. And all of that we tried to circumvent and kept resisting. You know, I started with a little Star Wars analogy, but it feels a little bit like that. You know, we were the little group of resistors that didn't want to be part of the empire. I wonder where you got the ideas from. But anyways, and Antiochus decided also to take over the temple, our temple, our worship temple in Jerusalem, and to dedicate it to the gods of Greece, because they had many of them, and he started to even sacrifice, as part of their pagan rituals, pigs, which are not kosher, if you don't know, on the altar of the temple in Jerusalem, and that broke into a revolt. The first time he did that, the first time the sacrifices in the temple and the desecration of the temple happened was on the 25th of Kislev of the year 169 BCE. Kislev is the month we are now, and actually the 25th of Kislev is the first day of Chanukah. So this Wednesday night and Thursday, that was the 25th of Kislev. It's an interesting number, don't you think? Think about that. And so the Maccabees were a family, you know, everything was very tribal at the time. People, you know, understood themselves as being members of the tribe. And there was the tribe of a little clan called the Hashmonean family. And they decided they had enough, and they created a revolt, an armed revolt, a revolt that is going to practice kind of a guerrilla warfare, whereby they ambush, you know, troops from the armies, the Greek armies. They attack them, and then they disappear back into the hills or wherever the attack took place. And that was a system of war where it was not two armies confronting each other, but it was, you know, little attacks here and there, to which the Greek army had no real response. And that kind of tactic was called to hammer at the enemy's troops. And the word hammer became, and is understood to be Maccabee. So they were the Maccabees. The Maccabees were the hammering folks, the folk that hammered at the Greek soldiers in those little ambushes here and there. And it took a while, but they won. And actually the Hashmonean became known as the Maccabees, those who hammer at the Greek soldiers. In Israel, the way there is a little part of the celebration in Israel is you have those little plastic hammers, and people bob each other on their head with those plastic hammer, and when you hit someone, it makes quickle, 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 quickle. So it's kind of annoying walking down the streets in Jerusalem on Chanukah, because you hear all this very weird sounds everywhere. But the kids love it, and it's wonderful. And it's to remember the hammer, the Maccabees. So as you can see, there was this revolt that lasted a while, for several years. And once the Maccabees won the war, they were able to get back into Jerusalem and to take the temple again. And as they rededicated the temple to Jewish worship, they made sure to do that on the 25th of Kislev to mark the desecration of the temple that happened the same day, 3 years earlier. And the 25th of Kislev, which is right now, as the anniversary of the desecration of the temple, they decided to create a holiday to celebrate. And they said, okay, what's the last holiday we missed? And they looked at the calendar, and the last major holiday they missed was Sukkot, which is an 8-day holiday. So they said, we're going to have 8-day holidays to kind of reclaim this last holiday that we didn't get to do at the temple, and to just make it a week-long holiday. of rededicating our temple to our nation. And so they did. And so the 8 days of Chanukah come from that. As you can see, though Christmas and Chanukah came on the same day this year, the 25th of December and the 25th of Kislev, they are very different holidays. I don't think so far as I have learned, that Christmas celebrates a military victory. That's not what I've learned in my years growing up. I know that it's very tempting to make connection between the holidays because they happen almost every year around the same month. And so it's easy to say, oh, Chanukah, Christmas, light, candles, it's very nice, it's the same. No, it's really not the same. Really not. No. This is about independence. It's really a war of independence that was won by our people. So it's closer to the 4th of July, let's say. All right, let's move to the holiday of Chanukah. The holiday of Chanukah is actually born long before the story I just told you, because it's probably a holiday that existed since long ago pagan times. And the reason it existed long ago in pagan times is because this is the darkest time of the year. And back in where beliefs were really magical beliefs, they really thought that the night was growing because the demon of the night was winning against the son of the light. And every year there was this big battle that took place between the forces of evil and the forces of light, forces of darkness and forces of light. And every year we wondered who was going to win again. And every year when we got to, close to the winter solstice, it was the scariest time, and we believe that this was a time where people, to combat the evil of darkness, built huge bonfires. And festivals of lights existed since immemorial times because of those deep magical beliefs that people had from those pagan times, of the god of darkness fighting the god of light every year, right? And so that holiday really began, we believe, thousands of years ago. We just took it over and make it, our own. And we don't know how Chanukah was celebrated before that time, before Chanukah, before the story, before the war. But we know that it existed from ancestral days. And you know that because if you know a little bit of Roman history, which is most of the time the pagan civilization we all study and learn about, there was an anniversary. The anniversary of the, around the winter solstice, December 25th was the birthday of what they called the unconquerable sun. Why December 25th? Because the solstice is on the 21st, but for 3 days the sun still stays still in the sky. And that's why it was the most frightening for people, because people thought, the sun is never going to rise up in the horizon again. It stopped moving. It's been 3 days. And they were very attuned with the planets and the stars, and they really knew what was going on. And they saw the sun was not going back up. It was staying still on the horizon for 3 days. And then on the 25th, they could say, oh, here, the sun is rising again. So in Rome, they had this anniversary on the 25th of December to celebrate the winning. Basically, the god of the light had won once again, and the things that were going to get brighter. I'm saying all this because you might wonder if you wonder why December 25th became the anniversary of a different kind of birth. It comes from there. It was completely taken from the Roman celebration, and the church decided, again, in the same, if you can't beat them, join them, to take that holiday, and the birth of the unconquerable sun became the birth of the unconquerable sun, if we do it in English. But it's exactly the same. And we take from each other and we build our own. That's completely what we've done for hundreds and thousands of years. So that's also part of the story. So we don't know when Chanukah became actually the holiday as we know it today. The only thing we know is from the Talmud. And in the Talmud, in the tractate, in the book called Shabbat, where the rabbis, I don't know if you know what the Talmud is, so let me just back up. The Talmud is a conversation between rabbis that started at the turn of the millennia, so say a little bit before year 0, like some people may make it like 100 BCE, that ended about, we could say 600 or 700 CE, so 800 years of conversations between our spiritual leaders about really how do you transform this religion into a portable religion now that the temple is going to be destroyed and eventually is destroyed by the Romans in the year 70 of the Common Era. And our spiritual leaders decided that we need to survive as a nation, and they transformed Judaism from a land-based, temple-based in Jerusalem religion to you can do it anywhere in the world that now you're going to be, because the Romans took us as slaves. After they massacred 3/4 of our people, they were the worst. They were the worst people that ever walked the earth. 3/4, 75 to 80% of the Jews were massacred, killed, crucified at the hand of the Romans. And those who survived were dispersed as slaves through the empire. My family, my ancestors arrived in North Africa around that time and stayed there for 2,000 years. And there were always Jews that stays in the land, but they were really the most horrible empire that ever walked the earth. And it's a big thing for a Jewish person to say, but they were. I don't know why we idolize them so much in the West, but they really were horrible. We don't know when Chanukah was a holiday. We know from the Talmud that there is a conversation between rabbis about Shabbat and the light, the candles we need to kindle on Shabbat. And as part of that very lengthy conversation about what kind of candles and how and where, because the rabbis love to do that, to make sure we have the right candles, there is one rabbi who says, what's Chanukah? Literally, that's what it says. Mahi Chanukah in the Talmud is, what is Chanukah? And the rabbis look at each other, you imagine them, because that's not what happened over 700 years. But they look at each other, it's like, yeah, that's a good question. What is Chanukah? And they have this whole conversation about the candles of Chanukah, or the light of Chanukah, how long it should light and why. And we wonder what happened there, because the rabbis hated the Hashmonean family, the Maccabees. They hated them. Why? Well, because though they conquered the Greek Empire and rededicated Jewish worship on the temple and kind of revived the nation, they made a big mistake, is that they broached the convention of separation of church and state. There was separation of church and state in our nation since King David, so 1000 BCE. And they decided that they were going to install themselves both as kings and as priests. And that was a big no-no in our nation, in the way of living. And because of that, there were some revolutions, reaction against them, some little revolts against their kings, generations of them. And one of them decided he had enough with that. Alexander Yanai actually is the one, and said, I want to quench that little revolt that is, inside revolts, enough. My people keep revolting against me. What I'm going to do, since I don't seem to have the manpower to do it, I'm going to invite those armies that are sitting now in Syria and in Turkey to come and help me. And he grabbed his cell phone and he called the emperor of Rome and said, hey, can you do me a favor? Can you help me quench the little revolts in my country? And he actually invited the Roman armies to conquer them. The Romans like, what? You want us to just come in? Okay. We don't have to go to war with you? Okay, well, we'll do that. So the Hashmonean family was very hated. The book of Maccabees, from which I'm telling you all these stories, is actually not in the Jewish canon. They excluded them from Jewish worship, from the Jewish canon. It's the book of Maccabees, Apocrypha. It's out there. Obviously, we study it now, but they were not friendly to the Maccabees. So why Chanukah? Because Chanukah celebrated the war and celebrated the victory of the Maccabees. Because people kept celebrating this damn, festival of light that we had every year for 8 days. And I think the theme of this talk is becoming, if you can't beat them, join them. Because the rabbi said, well, we can't stop them from doing this holiday. They seem to be loving to have bonfires and and fight the darkness. So we're going to make up a story. And they made up the story of, it's not about the conquering and the war, and then, there's that, but what's really important is that when the Maccabees rededicated the temple, they found this one little container of oil, and as they were celebrating the 8 days, the light was only supposed to burn for 1 day, but miracle of miracle, it burned for 8 days. And so we're celebrating the miracle of Chanukah, not the victory of the Maccabees. So they twisted it all around. They said, miracle! Now we can have a holiday. And eventually it became, with that conversation in the Talmud, of the oil, the candles, how and what, and then it became, so now it's a religious celebration. See how we did that with all the holidays. All of them. We had to, because we no longer had the temple, we no longer had the land. So we could bring the Chanukah candles in our windows now. It was okay, it was kosher. Forget about the Maccabees. We're not going to tell, but we're going to tell about the miracle, and that's what happened. All right. So, what is the deeper teachings of Chanukah? Do I still have time? Yes, I'm good. Well, I'm going to have to do it anyway, but I can speak faster. All right. So, I'm just looking at the essence of what the rabbis were trying to do. And what the rabbis were trying to do is to infuse in our practice, in our spiritual journey, the notion of miracle. And I think in this day and age, when we think about miracles, we think about biblical stories. It's long ago, and it's miracles. What are miracles? It's just kids' tales. It's like almost Santa Claus kind of thing. And I think we lose the ability as adults to live a more enchanted life. We have disenchanted the world, and we're no longer able to see the miracles that are happening moment to moment. I'll just give you one example. I read an article in the University of Oxford study that proves statistically that in all probability, there isn't another Earth-like planet anywhere in the universe that can support the kind of intelligent life that we are and we are surrounded with. The millions upon millions of infinitesimal evolutionary events that needed to take place at the right time, in the right place, since the formation of the Earth some 4.5 billion years ago, so that this very planet of ours could actually orbit at the exact distance it is from the sun. Because a little mile over here or a little mile over there could have been very different and make this Earth a very different place. It's impossible to duplicate what has happened in the evolution of life on Earth, that Earth just plopped itself right where it did, at the distance from the sun that it did. And in the article, they pointed to the fact that it took that single-cell organisms more than 1 billion years to advance and become organism with a nucleus. Billions of years. I mean, think about it. This single evolutionary step alone required more than 1 billion years of undisturbed environment in order to take place. Right? If the conditions on Earth had shifted just slightly over 1 billion years, think about climate change, right? That single-cell organism could never have been born, could never have existed. It's so unlikely that this would happen again anywhere else in the universe, that we are here and exist, that you and I are talking to each other this morning. I mean, think about it. The article said it's quasi impossible that there is another Earth anywhere in the universe because of that, because of all that had to happen over some billions of years that created us here today. We actually might be the only intelligent species existing alone in the entire universe. And so our existence statistically is an impossible miracle. Our existence statistically is an impossible miracle. Think about that. You are a miracle. You are a miracle. You are a miracle. This moment is a miracle. I'm going to end with that. But think about how this moment is an incredible miracle. Think about your life path, where you were born, the parents you were born to, the time you were born in. Just think about that and how impossible that is. Now think about all your life's twists and turns. What the decisions you made, the decisions that were made for you, the things that happened, the moment you got fired from that job, the car you bought, the house you decided upon, where you wanted to live and where you used to live, and how you got here. Think about how you got here. How did you get here this morning? How did you find CSL of any place? Where other places did you wander around on your spiritual journey? Think about all the twists and turns of your life that bring us this morning to this service, to meet me. Think about where I come from. I mean, I don't know if you can tell, but I have an accent. Born and raised in France. I lived in Israel for 10 years. If I hadn't met this woman from a little-known country called Minnesota, I would have never met it here. It's between Canada and the US. I don't know if you know that. The fact that I'm here is absolutely impossible. Now multiply your life experience with your life experience, your life experience, your life's experience. This moment is impossible. All that had happened for you to be sitting in this chair, watching this from your home, wherever you're watching, this is impossible, that all of us would be here. And think about it. This moment is impossible. This moment is an absolute miracle. Every moment is an absolute miracle. The next person you're going to meet tomorrow or wherever that you've never seen before, and think about their life stories, even though you don't know it, and how it is impossible that right now they could be standing in front of you. And yet here they are. And then here you are. And we don't see the miracle of now. The miracle of now, the miracle of the light of our being, this light of the divine kindled within each other, and the narrative of all of the human stories that have made your story possible. It's impossible. It's a miracle. See, we light our candles every night. And we love the candles. We make them very beautiful. And I always tell, you really are too connected to the candle. This is about the light. Stop identifying with the candle. Remember the light. One of my teachers that I follow mostly online, his name is Muji. He said, you are a gift from God. This is a season of giving, right? You are a gift from God, each of us. Stop identifying with the wrapping paper. You are the miracle of light as the candle of you. Beautiful candle, unique, gorgeous candle, each of us. But stop identifying with the candle. You are the light of miracle. Thank you.
Thank you, Rabbi. Well, it has come to the time of our gifts, tithes, and offerings. And so I'd like to invite Sherry to bring up the basket. And I want to shift into that recognition that we are the light. And not only are we a gift to give, but we also share our gifts in our community. And sometimes that's through service, and sometimes it's monetarily. But each and every one of us has something to give. And we create this together, community. And so whatever you'd like to give today in appreciation, and also recognizing that your gift creates more connection, It reminds us that we are the miracle. And it allows us to be a place where God shows up with generosity. So go ahead and take your gift or whatever your intention is and hold it over your heart. And know with me right now that this gift is a blessing for this community and beyond. It does great work in the world, and it multiplies that great work of love and light abundantly, easily, effortlessly, and often. And so it is. And now Jake has a lovely offering song, and we're going to go ahead. And for those of you who are new, we have a little dance down the aisle. We put our offering in the basket, and for people who give online, they just bless the basket on their way around. So enjoy.
Thank you for that. Learned a lot. All around the world, all through time, we gather at the dawn to welcome the light. And we celebrate miracle upon miracles that guide us through the light and the night. And I am moved, and it feels like I am running across the water. I am running across the sea. I am running across the water, running across the sea. And I'll kiss the sunrise as it colors me. Yeah, and I'll taste the sunset as it covers me. The sky asks a question, I ripple my reply. The wind fills my sails like a sigh, and I make my way into this miraculous new day. And I am moved, and I am running across the water, running across the sea. Miracles are happening, yeah, running across I feel that power of God in me. And I'll taste the sunrise as it colors me. And I'll kiss the sunset as it covers me. Let's feel our miracles. Above the sea, running across, feel the power of God, like we're running across the sea. Ooh, may I recognize the miracles, may we see them every day. Miracles in you and me, like the candle that burns, like the love that persists, like running across the sea. Thank you, sweet Spirit, for all the miracles, large and small. May we recognize them every day in one and all.
There are a lot of opportunities for you to be supported in prayer if you would like. There will be a circle right over here after the service. There's a practitioner in the back, Michael, by the desk back there. You can fill out a request. There are cards in the backs of the chairs, the one that says support. Fill out a request and put it in the prayer box, and we'll pray for you a little bit later today. So, it's time for our service to draw to a close. It's been so rich. It's felt very in the moment and present. And so that is quite a gift. And we can each take that gift with us. Remember, anything that you felt today is coming from inside you, not from outside you. So take it with you as you go. And may you be blessed this week, and so it is.
All right, everybody, it's time for the closing sing-along. Please rise as you're able. Please get up on stage as you're able and sing along whether you're able to or not. Thank you.